Hi there, students. Militant. Okay, militant can either be an adjective or a noun, a militant, a person. Militant means favouring confrontation. Somebody who supports a political cause or a social cause. They're aggressive and they're assertive. They're very pushy. They're perhaps extremist and radical. Yeah, so somebody who is militant are active, they're determined. So militant extremists. The word militant doesn't necessarily imply violence, although militants are very often willing to use force. The group has taken a militant position on the issue of euthanasia, and it refuses to compromise. So I think this word militant, it means vigorously active, vigorously supporting a cause, a militant reformer, a combative character, aggressive in the service of a cause, aggressively active supporting a cause. So a militant, militant green or militant conservationist, a militant attitude. Let's see, this word militant, it can mean fighting, disposed to fight, belligerent and warlike. But generally, for me nowadays, this word militant or a militant is somebody who aggressively supports a political or social cause. They're adamant and they're combative, but they're not necessarily violent. So, for example, I think I would call Gandhi militant, but clearly he's not violent. He was not violent, and this is the point with militant: is it may not include physical violence. It probably doesn't include armed combat. It could. It's possible. But I think generally it means somebody who takes an aggressive, vigorous stance, who support their cause vigorously and very strongly, and that they are in combat with the people who won't let them. These are radical reformers. Okay, so an active militant group. They're aggressive, they're contentious, but they're not necessarily fighting. Yeah, so party militants. I remember when I was growing up, the militant part of the Labour Party were extreme left. They were strongly defending the rights of workers and the rights of the poor. So determined, but active in a determined way. The militants within the party are demanding radical reform. Militants were arrested. The leaders of the militant group were arrested. So they're active. They're determined. Okay, so the security forces made it impossible for militants to carry out their threats. Okay, so it's got this aggressive, in-your-face attitude. To take a militant view, a militant group looking for independence. Some groups of people are more aggressively active, combative than others, but this doesn't mean they're necessarily in fighting. Militant protesters rallied against the new laws. So these are people who believe very strongly in something. They're active in trying to bring about social or political change, and maybe their ways are quite extreme, and other people find it unacceptable. I don't know, for example, blocking the motorways would be a good description of a militant action. It's a very strong action, but it's not actually violent. And I think maybe nowadays that's the point with militancy, is finding a non-violent way of being militant. Okay, so militant, somebody who's militant, a militant. Formality. I think I'm going to give it a 5 in formality. I think use anywhere. So militant as a noun and an adjective.